Hello everyone and welcome back to Matchbox Memories. Today we're going to have a look at 17 Matchbox vehicles, most of them from the early 2000s that we're going to unbox and compare to existing vehicles in my collection. Without any further ado, let's have a look at some of these vehicles. I think we're going to start off by looking at these two Land Rovers. Both exactly the same vehicle, just two different colors. The first one on the left here, as you can see, is in this army green. And if we have a quick look at the date on that, it is from 2006. And the one in blue is also from 2006. So let's open these up and have a look at them and then compare them to some of the other versions of this vehicle that I have in my collection. I just realized there's a third version that we should open as well, this muddy version, Land Rover SVX. That is, this one's from 2007, so this one's a year younger, but also well worth an opening. So give me a second. We'll open all three of those up and have a look at them. Alright, so let's start off with the two versions from 2006. Quick look at the bottom first. Land Rover SVX, made in Thailand. Sort of a hard plastic base in black. Army green. Rugged set of tires. Definitely set for some off-roading. Detailed front. Middle body plastic frame here. The roll cage is plastic there. Look at that, fully detailed back. That looks really, really good. Good interior detail. Look at that. Right hand drive. Lots of details. Beautifully designed. Very, very nice. Next up, same vehicle in blue. Same base. Land Rover SVX, also made in Thailand. Also really well designed. Apologies for my phone there, but there it is. Same detailing, also right hand drive. Look at that, also fully detailed back. Same set of tires as the previous version. Very, very nice. And then these were both from 2006. This one's from 2007, so 1 year later. Not certain I love these brown tires. They're supposed to represent the mud, and you see the mud splattered across this particular vehicle. I always feel like if they make a muddy version, they really should have made a clean version as well with black tires. But nevertheless, there it is. Muddy front, no details, and that's basically because they've done the side livery here. But sadly no back livery either, or details. You can see a slight error in the plastic. There's a bit of a gap there. Beigey interior. Land Rover SVX, made in Thailand. And then I've got a few versions of this in my collection. I'm going to pull them out and we shall have a look at them all. I really didn't think I had this many versions of this particular vehicle, but I do have quite a few, including the toy fair that I picked up on Facebook Marketplace last year. So look at that first. So this one is from the 2005 toy fair. I haven't taken it out of its packaging. You can see the original rubber band, elastic band that was holding it together has basically hardened up, and you can still see parts of it on the vehicle. I hope that it has not damaged the paint. There's no way to know. This one's got rubber tires. It says Real Adventure. It says Not Fragile in black there. Looks like rubber tires, detailed back. Look at that multi-tone interior, which is what I think every Matchbox car should have. Now that it's 2025, this was done in 2005, so they had the technology to do that in 2005. 20 years later, we're still not seeing that. Look at that, fully detailed front, gold faceplate. It's quite nice, quite rare. I think these sell for about $50 on eBay. Pretty sure I paid far less than that. I can't remember if I paid $5 or $15, but it was something in that range. Beautiful vehicle. This is my spare version of this. This is a National Parks version. I have a clean version. This is a play one version that I keep with the other Land Rovers. I have my cleaner version, this brand new version with my National Parks vehicles. Anyways, there it is. This is also a made in Thailand vehicle. There it is in black. This is the rookie version, the first version that came out for this particular vehicle. Full black, gray trim, detail back. Front's not detailed. This one's made in China, as is this beige one, which I think is fantastic as well. Look at that, fully detailed back. And I think this one was made in China. Yeah, made in China as well. And the only other one we didn't look at was this. This is, I think, out of a 5-pack. Matchbox Coast Guard. Made in Thailand. So there's two versions that are not here. It also came in an emerald green as part of the Land Rover series from probably 6-7 years ago now. I do have that, I just didn't pull it. I don't have it open. And then I'm missing a white one that I know that has blue wheels, and I've been keeping a keen eye out for it. I just haven't seen it for sale at a reasonable price. So anyways, there they are. They're making fantastic set of vehicles to collect. I have all of them bar one, the white one with the blue wheels. But anyways, there's my collection of Land Rover SVXs. All right, so we just looked at the Land Rovers. I think I'm gonna go in a different direction here and have a look at this Morgan Aeromax. I think there's been 7 or 8 versions of this car. Unfortunately, I have 3, including this. Definitely looking to collect the rest of them. Some of them might be quite difficult to find because they are 10-pack exclusives. Anyways, this one's fantastic. Beautiful card art. British flag on the top. Detailed front and back. And it's from 2010. Right, let's open this up and have a look at it. Another absolutely stellar casting. Look at that. How beautiful that is. Really, really nice with the British flag. Unfortunately, the backlights are not detailed, but other than that, this is just phenomenal. Great paint job. Right-hand drive. Looks like a light gray interior. Morgan Aeromax 2009. Wonderful. And the 2 other versions that I have, also absolutely fantastic. Look at that. Look how beautiful those vehicles are. I think this one's from 2010. It's not the 10-pack exclusive. I think this is also from the rookie year. So this was the first one, first version of this casting. Look at that, fully detailed. Back, number plate. This metallic baby blue. Not quite a baby blue, I'd say it's sort of a mid-tone blue. Detailed front, including the number plate. Just gorgeous. One of the most beautiful castings. Look at that. And then in this almost British racing green. It's not quite that. Detail sides. I'm not sure what that yellow mark is. Look at that. Fully detailed back, including the number plate again. Right hand drive. Just gorgeous. Fantastic set of vehicles. I think this blue one, the first one, might be my favorite. I think there's probably 5 or 6 that I'm yet to collect. Alright, since we looked at a classic, let's have a look at something a little bit more modern. This is the 2016 Chevy Camaro convertible. I've actually got this one loose already, but I did notice a slight variance in the color of the plastic, and I looked at the manufacturing year and I can see that the two versions I have are from two very different manufacturing years. This is K30 and I think the other one's P, so I'm gonna open them both up. Actually, one's already open, so anyways, quick look at the back. This is from 2016. This one's probably one of the harder ones to find in red, this convertible Camaro. Okay, let's open it up and have a look at it. Right, there it is. '16 Chevy Camaro, made in Thailand. Beautiful red. Detailed front. Left-hand drive as you would expect. Black interior. Good set of tires. And a fully detailed back, including the number plate that says Camaro on it. Okay, and I got quite a few other versions of this. The only one I think I'm missing is a 10-pack exclusive. Alright, so I have lots of different versions of this vehicle as well. I try to put them in the order in which they were released. This is the rookie version that we just opened. And then it came in this blue, orange. This is from the, I think it was the 50th anniversary of Matchbox. This was supposedly somewhat of a chase version in this metallic gold. I think there were 4 or 5 cars that came in metallic gold, and they were somewhat harder to find than the regular main lines. But anyways, there it is. Fairly easy to find and not more than a couple of bucks, so no real value to that supposed chase. In gray, out of a 5-pack. In black, I think also out of a 5-pack. Couldn't be certain. Sort of a metallic black, metal flake black. Black interior. Okay, second version of the red, and there is a bit of a difference, and I'm just going to move the cars around just so I can put them side by side. Don't know if you can see it on the camera, but this one's definitely, the original one definitely has a sort of a ashy gray interior, and the newer of the two has a black interior. There's no doubt about it. I'm pretty sure you can see that on camera as well. Other than that, cars are identical. Same sets of wheels, etc., but definitely two different interior colors. And on the Matchbox wiki side, it does not reference that. Original is more of an ash, and the new one, the newer of the two, is definitely black, and you can see that very, very distinctly. All right, so one of the vehicles I'm missing is a Candy Series car there in blue. And then we have, that was a mainland, the blue with the white stripes on the bonnet. Definitely a mainline. This one came out of the, I think it was sort of American convertibles. You see them on the pegs everywhere. Unfortunately, that series wasn't a hit because there were so many repeats in this set, and certainly the Walmarts are finding it hard to clear those. Mainline, which is very, very similar to the original orange from quite a few years ago. Very subtle variation in color. Other than that, they look quite fairly identical to me. And then, of course, the last one we saw was in yellow, also from the main line. And then the version I'm missing, I'm just going to show you guys my other phone and just quickly show you the 8-pack exclusive that I'm missing, which is in green. That's the one I'm missing. So that's just from the Matchbox wiki site. And if I just make this screen smaller, you can see the other vehicles in that 8-pack. So fairly new. Not sure if it's from 2024 or 2025, but definitely that's the one I need. Alright, staying in the themes of vehicles, I do want to have a look at this moving parts vehicle only because I've been waiting for this left-hand drive version, and I finally found it, the 1956 Morris. As you guys know, this is a moving parts vehicle. Comes with a variation left and right hand drive. And I finally got this thanks to my aunt in Japan who just recently sent this to me. So I'm just going to quickly open it up and then show you both versions. I'm not really sure why this was so hard to find. It wasn't running off the pegs, although I can't say it was unpopular either. Guess I just had bad timing, but anyways, there they are. You can distinctly see the left and right hand drive vehicles, and of course the moving part is the bonnet that opens, and of course they don't stay up. Nice little vehicles. Alright, in this theme of cars, let's look at another one, the Honda Insight in this white. First I thought it was a Prius. It always confuses me when I see it from the side and think, oh, that's definitely a Toyota Prius. And then to my disbelief, it's a Honda Insight. There's the packaging. This one is from 2009. To open this up and have a look at it. I did a quick search on this vehicle and I realized there are 7 or 8 different versions of it. I only have 3 including this, so I did pull those and we'll have a look at them. It says fuel saver. I think this might be a hybrid, one of the first hybrids. Left-hand drive. So this metallic pearl color, beautiful. It's hard to find these. And hence only the 3 versions to show you guys. I think this is the first version that ever came out. That's the rookie version. And this one they called a semi-exclusive. So let's have a look at each of them. Sort of metallic red, fully detailed back. I think that says fuel saver as well. Fuel SVR on the number plate. Yeah, so this was the first model, mainline, gray interior. Not sure where I picked it up from, but I've had it in my collection for a while. And then this one is a semi-exclusive. So I think semi-exclusive means in the world of Matchbox Wikipedia, it's not the exclusive car in the 9-pack, but it never came as a mainline. So it was exclusive to that 9-pack. So if you didn't buy the 9-pack, you were not able to buy it, but it wasn't the exclusive car. If that makes any sense to anyone. So also a difficult one to find, guys. It's sort of a matte black. Gray interior, detailed front and back. Nice car. I mean, a little bit boring, but still very collectible just because they're so hard to find. All right, next I'm going to open this 95 custom Chevy van, and we know that this vehicle also has a variation. So it comes with the spare tire, and then if you're lucky enough, you may find a version with the motorcycle at the back instead of the tire. Anyways, this is the only version that I was able to get. I don't have the version with the motorcycle. I will document that and start looking for it. Also, I do have this vehicle. I do have several versions of this vehicle, but I didn't pull them out. Just not sure where they are. But I think in my, the last 3 videos we looked at the Target exclusive green version of this particular vehicle. Anyways, pretty sure this vehicle doesn't have an interior, but we will open this up and have a closer look at it. Beautiful red Matchbox livery on the top, so side livery, including signals. No details at the back, but they do have this plastic inclusion with a spare tire, and like I mentioned before, it also comes with a motorcycle, like a rally bike, instead of the tire. That is beautiful. No details in the front, but lots of details in the chrome. That's really nice. And as far as I know, there's no interior in this particular vehicle. That's why it's all blacked out. Chrome base, custom 95 Chevy van. Definitely one everyone should be collecting. Look how stylish that particular vehicle is. Another single that I'm going to look at, I don't have any other versions of this particular BMW Z4, so I'm going to open it up before we look at some of the remaining off-road vehicles that I have. So anyways, left-hand drive, beige interior. This one's from 2011. The golden years of Matchbox, sort of 2005 to 2012-ish. Beautiful model after beautiful model. There it is, guys, the Z4 in black, fully detailed back and front. Gorgeous. I actually feel like I have a red version of this in my collection. I'm not going to look for it, but just my gut instinct tells me I have it in red. BMW Z4 on the number plate. Beautiful, beautiful casting. Nice. Not sure the curves are quite right when you compare it to the real car, but it's nice enough. Alright, next let's have a look at these two Jeeps. One there, the other there. Quick look. This is the 1943 Jeep Willies in red. This is from the 60th anniversary of Matchbox 2012. All right, let's open that up, and then before we do that, let's have a look at this Jeep Wrangler. From 2007. Alright guys, I have a gluttony of Jeeps, so I had to do a quick check to make sure I didn't already have these before I opened them. And lo and behold, I did not. So quick, closer look at them. This is the Jeep Wrangler. Plastic base, made in Thailand. Side livery, no front livery. Good details as always in the interior, gray interior, black base. And then we'll also look at this very, very quickly. Jeep Willies. Look at the detailing on that. Beautiful. Front's not done, and neither is the back, but there's this beautiful spare tire. Good interior. Alright, so let's have a look at some of the other Jeeps I have in my collection. Ignore the first row, but let's just get to the one we looked at. So here they are. Lots of different Jeep Wranglers. I just got that, the cornflakes. Really, really hard to find. I got it loose. I'm not sure if it was a mail-in or part of a 5-pack, but anyways, very, very difficult to find. I've only seen it once at auction, and I was fortunate enough to buy it for a few bucks. It was loose. I'm not sure if I've ever shown this on video before, but there it is. And I'm never going to remember where I found all these Jeeps, but I'm just going to show you guys. I think most of them are from 5-packs. Pretty sure these two are exactly the same, and that's going to create space for the one we just opened. And then different versions. I think that's sorry. I think that's basically the same Jeep. It doesn't have the roof rack. This one's definitely out of a 5-pack. And I'm pretty sure I opened it, so I'm not sure if it ever had the 5-pack, even though the inclusions are there for it. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I bought it loose and it just didn't have the grille. And just some other Jeeps. And we're going to turn around and have a look at the other side of this box. Different versions of that Jeep Wrangler. Once again, couldn't tell you. Most of these are from 5-packs, I think. This one's 65th anniversary with rubber tires. A little bit harder to find. The rest of them, I think, mostly 5-packs. Lots and lots. And then the 43 Jeep Willie, or Willies as they call it. Of course, I'm not going to have room in my box. I'm going to have to take something out think I'm gonna, which one should I remove? Oof, I'm gonna have to remove this one. And we got a winner. So just a quick recap of the different versions of that particular vehicle that we have, that I have. Really, really nice casting. When I run out of room, I usually take the Hot Wheels out. So Hot Wheels are heading into a different spot, and this box is going to be dedicated to just the Matchbox. All right, next vehicle. Going to be fairly quick with this one. Chevy Tahoe Fire. I think this is from the early 2000s. We will check real quick. This one is from, yeah, the year 2000. There you go. Good guess. There is, once again, another casting that I have a ton of different versions of. It is something I-24, definitely a fire-themed suburban SUV. Beautiful yellow lights. This one is made in China. 25 years old now. First time out of its package. Look at that. Probably the oldest vehicle we opened today. And then we'll quickly look at some of the other versions of this I have in my collection. As promised, here are some of the other Chevy Tahoes that I have in my collection. Once again, these are mostly from 5-packs. This one is I think it's a Taco Bell exclusive. Yeah, Chevy Tahoe. Pretty sure this is a Taco Bell exclusive. Anyways, there it is. So there's obviously two versions of it. There's a version without the siren as well. The one we just looked at obviously has the siren, but let's just have a look at some of these other. This came in a 2-pack premium with rubber wheels. This one's just raw. This one's fully detailed, and I'm just going to show you how nice this looks when it's completely done. Just a beautiful casting. I think the only thing it's missing is a tow hook. Other than that, absolutely gorgeous. And then just more versions. This is the there's two vehicles in this Michael Jordan series. I only have one. It also comes in black. Not sure. I think that's out of a 5-pack. Okay, so these are the versions that are similar to the one we just looked at with the siren. This is out of a 5-pack. Police version, some ambulance versions, another ambulance version, also out of a 5-pack. I'm just going to put the one we looked at right there. And I just want to show you guys this because this is also a premium version that is fully done. So rubber tires, made in China. But just look at the quality of this vehicle. Of course, I got the elastic band that's stuck on from all those years that it's been sitting in a box. Look at that, beautiful blue interior. Not sure if you can see in there, but that's just a fantastic vehicle. State Patrol, can't quite read that. State Trooper, beautiful car, or SUV in this case. Anyways, just a quick recap of what we just looked at. There we go. And then right at the bottom are my moving parts Chevy Tahoes. And since I had this box out, I had to flip it over and show you all my Chevy Expeditions as well. I'm not going to spend too much time on it, guys. Just a quick look. The difference between these two is this is just the regular version. This is supposedly the Chase that has, you know, Matchbox 2000 on it. And then just some more versions of this absolutely fantastic vehicle. Look at that one. Team Tony. Difficult one to find. Getting more expensive. And I just got this as a Lucy. So I've never shown it to you guys before. US Border Patrol. Look at that. How cool is that? Not sure if it's out of a 5-pack, Stickers slightly damaged. Made in China, so it's quite old. And blue one, also new, fairly new. Alright, next up, we have the Chevy Silverado 4x4 pickup in this purple. This one's also quite old, I can tell by the packaging. Early 2000s, late 90s, 1999. Look at that. Nice color. Let's open it up and have a look at it. Alright, the 99 Silverado out of its package. This is a vehicle that I don't have many of. I've only got two of them. I've got this, the one I just opened, as well as the Skyjacker version of it. And there's probably, I don't know, 10 different versions of it, of this particular vehicle that I have just never found. Really nice. Definitely got quite a few versions of the non 4x4 version of it. But yeah, this one's a hard one to find in the 4x4 off-roading style. Anyway, nice vehicle. Trying to see if that's a yellow or a, so it looks like a whitish interior. No, sorry, an orange interior. No details at the back. Side livery. Surf shop, the hottest board on the beach. Front's not detailed either, but it does have the chrome base and front. Beautiful. Alright, just 3 cars remaining. Let's look at the other 4x4. This one I do have a few different versions of. The Ford F-150 4x4. Also going to be 1999 or 2099. You can always tell by the packaging. This one says Emergency Beach Patrol. Let's open it up and have a look at it. Alright, quick look at it. Look at that. Beautiful. How cool does that look? Beach Patrol Unit 44, side livery. Look at that, chase version, Matchbox 2000. Pretty sure it can be on the front too. Usually it's there. So got to find another version that's not the chase version. I didn't even notice that till I just looked at it. Brilliant. Left-hand drive, you can see the steering wheel there. Blue windows. Can't tell what color the interior is. Nothing in the bed. I would have said no livery, but we've got the chase, so it does say Matchbox 2000 on it. I'm not sure how rare these chases were, and I don't really see any differential in pricing or substantial differential in pricing between the mainline version and the chase version of these old Matchbox vehicles. So anyways, this is Ford F-150. So one Ford F-150 to the rest of the Ford F-150s that I have in my collection. So I gotta actually have a look because I can never tell the difference between the Silverados and the F-150s. So this one is a Chevy K1500. Quite similar from the side. These are all K1500s. Those are the two different versions. This one's the new one from the 5-pack. You can see the bed has no plastic bit. And the original, as you can see, just have these plastic inclusions. K1500, and I think these are the Fords, but maybe this one. No, it's still a K1500. Maybe that's the Ford. Yeah, this one's the Ford. Ford F-150, you see it there, right behind the front wheel. Alright, so the rest of these are, sorry, where am I? Right there. So that's the first F-150. Maybe I'll take them out just so we can have a look at them. I'm not going to go through them or pretend like I know where they came from. I'm guessing most of these out of 5-packs. But these are the different versions of this vehicle that I own. in my collection. All beautiful. I think these are all basically unboxings that I've done. The black one here is definitely come out of someone's collection. It's been played with, but as always, difficult to find, so I will keep this play-worn version in my collection till I find a cleaner version. I'm pretty sure I just unboxed that maybe 10-15 videos ago. So got a few different versions. I'm not an expert on this vehicle either, so I don't know how many different versions there are for me to collect, but I keep getting them every time I see them. Running out of room. I got one more to put in. I think I'm going to take the Escalades out and house them somewhere else. And of course, everyone loves that casting. Not going to spend any time looking at them, but there they are. And then of course I'll put the other off-road vehicle I have as well. Alright, last two vehicles. As you guys know, this is one of my favorite castings, the 97 Land Rover Defender 110. And I can't tell you how long I've been waiting to collect these two vehicles. Finally got them. And I got them for a song. They were a couple of bucks each. I couldn't believe it. I've seen these go for as much as between, you know, $15 and $20. Hard to find. Very, very popular. I'm hoping that's not a paint chip. It does look like a paint chip. Doesn't matter. What I paid for it, I'm not going to complain. Alright, let's just have a look at when they were manufactured. This one was in 2006, so approaching 20 years. And then this blue version, 2008. So let's open those up and have a look at them. There they are, guys. Let's have the blue one first. Not sure, something adventure, desert adventure probably. Mountain bike, desert adventure, explore all the best trails. 697, lots of side livery. Look at the details on this casting. Spare tire, ladders, roof rack, unfortunately not completed. Neither is the front, but still beautiful casting. Unfortunately they didn't put all the bells and whistles on this one. Nevertheless, I'm so happy to include this in my collection. And in white, and no issues. It was just a piece of scruff. I was able to muck it off. So there you go. In white, beautiful, fully detailed. Look how good it looks when it's detailed. No livery, no lights detail, but at least got the Land Rover Defender in details. Look at that. Roof rack also not detailed, but still just a beautiful vehicle, and one that is very, very difficult to find. And let's just have a look at all my Land Rover Defenders. Alright, those are the two we just opened and had a look at, and this is absolutely one of my favorite parts of my collection. In green, this Anaconda I think is out of a 5-pack. Not sure if that's a mainline. This one's a really hard one to find. It's not national parks, but it's forest services. This one's actually slightly play worn. In yellow, this one also took me forever to find. The two premium versions with the subtle variation that most people don't know exists. So it's inside the wheel well. You can see that this version has a gold interior wheel well, and this one here, exactly the same vehicle, but it's got a plastic gray wheel well. Look at that. Not wheel well, but I should say the interior of the hubs. Another mainline. So many different versions to collect. And then there was a recast, so in the older versions you see everything is metal, and then when we get to this point you can see they recast this portion in plastic. I think that's out of a 5-pack. Those are all with plastic hoods. Look at that, similar to the other yellow one. This one's got the new casting with the plastic bits and bobs. This is a custom someone did. Got it for $1. I thought it was really cool with all the mud. Couldn't even see well enough to drive it. Look at that. Where are the wipers? Why are they not on? And then a second recast. Or is that the same? Look at that, it's different. Call this Land Rover Defender 110 1997. But you can see the roof rack has changed. If you compare the two roof racks there. They made several vehicles with the new roof rack. This one's beautiful too. And this one's a really hard one to find. This is the 9-pack exclusive from probably 6 or 7 years ago now. Really, really hard to find. Rarely do you ever see it anywhere. I wish I bought more of them. Then of course I don't even have space for the 2 we just got, or I just got. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. It took me a lot longer than I thought it would to make this video. But anyways, I do, as always, appreciate all your support and help to grow this channel. I will be making lots of more videos before the end of the year, and certainly many, many in 2026. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do so, and don't forget to hit the like button on YouTube.